Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this is the Daily Grind Podcast.
Haha, what is up, everybody?
Podcast, talking about bullshit and other things.
For April 15th, 2021, baby. We're going to talk about how music affected my life and how it changed my life for the better, and what do I think about going to concerts and just living life, because I think concerts are like a therapy session for a lot of people. A lot of people go to these shows, to these festivals, and it's not just music. It's the camaraderie of going and having that community aspect. It's the same thing with anything in life, with having the ability to go to a concert, going to a movie, going to car events, whatever you're into it because of the community aspect. There's a big community that really loves the aspect of going to concerts. I don't know really too many other genres that are like die-hard music heads that go to concerts all the time. They listen to music, they talk about music. I think rock music is one of the only genres that I kind of think has the biggest following. Yeah, you say rap music is very influential, but I think metal music has the community that people talk online, people communicate online, people go to concerts. People might only go to concerts with certain people, and that's what I do. I go to concerts with certain people and only certain people because I like that community and we get along. And when we go to these shows, these festivals, it's like a therapy session. You take out all your anger and aggression on the music. You chant, you cheer, you go so hard in the mosh pit because it is something more than just music. And I'll tell you again, rock music technically has changed my life. Ever since I heard the very first Metallica album and Megadeth album, those are the two first albums I heard, was Youth in Asia and Master of Puppets. It changed my life because of how aggressive it was. It didn't sound like anything I've ever heard before. It was just like, what the hell is this? This is so crazy. It's so heavy. It's so aggressive. And I never heard anything like that in my life. It was just mind-blowing how good the music was. And it's just so fascinating. When I first heard it, I had to share that music to everybody, and my friends and my family, they're like, what the hell is this? Because they never heard something so heavy in their life. And for me, it transitioned me into a music head, a follower of music, a guy who wanted to play music, get on the guitar, learn the bass, learn how to play music. And when I used to listen to the radio, it was just, it's the radio. But when I heard Metallica and Megadeth for the first time, it blew my mind. And now that I go to shows, I go for the camaraderie of hanging out with friends, going for the band, but also just going for the community, because there is a huge community when it comes to music. And like I said, music has got me through a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, a lot of stress in my life. And I think for a lot of metalheads and just a lot of music nuts in general, they'll say the same thing. It got them through the hardest times in their life. It got them through the rough times, the tough times, and just times that they couldn't express their feelings to anybody or their friends or family. The music was there for them. It may really save someone's life. It definitely saved me a few times from doing something crazy or doing something idiotic. And I used to I remember the days when we used to buy CDs. We would go to a friend's house. He would put on his favorite like Korn album, and we would just vibe. We would have, let's say, like a beer, and we would just vibe out for like the 40-50 minutes for that album. Now people don't just sit down and listen to albums front to back. You don't do that anymore. But back then, that's all I did, and it was just fucking phenomenal how amazing it felt to sit down with your bro, and you would just shoot the shit, and you would listen to the songs, and you would talk about the music. And you would talk about real life shit. And that's the thing I miss, is just sitting down, shooting the shit, listen to an album, and you would talk to your friends for hours. And going to shows, it's kind of the same thing. You go to the show, you mosh, you headbang. There's people that you never met in your life that give you high fives, that shout you out, oh my God, you're going so crazy in the pit. It's because there's a like an unwritten rule when you go to like metal shows that everybody is family, and that's the way it feels like. The same thing with the car culture. There's a huge car culture. If you're into tricking out your cars, you go to these what are they called, cars and coffee, and people talk about different engines, different cars, different trucks, whatever it is. It's because whatever you're into, there's always other people that are into it, no matter what it is. At the end of the day, it's that community that comes together that makes you feel like a family and helps you through the tough times and the rough times. But music, hell yeah, it saved my life. And I think for a lot of people, music is the only thing that's been there for a lot of people when other people and other things have not been. But music has changed my life. Like I said, it's realistically one of the only things that's always been there from the start when I got into music. And going to shows, like I said, you realize there's music lovers, concert goers, and people that are obsessed with it. They have favorite songs, favorite albums. They go to the shows because it's a therapy session. And I know so many people that go to shows and they're happy, they're excited, they get to see their friends, they're basically like their family. And for me, I'm willing to drive 2 hours to a concert or 3 hours to a show. And there's a band called JINJER that I'm going to be go seeing in November. And the tickets were like $30 or something. And I'm going because, for one, I love shows. And for two, I just want to get the hell out of the house and actually enjoy live music again. And that's why I do these reaction videos. That's why I do these podcasts. That's why I talk about music as much as I do, because it is more than just music. It's something more than that. And to be honest, music has always been there. Like I said, when you put on your favorite album and you go, well, you listen to metal music, how is that helping you? Well, there's been proven studies that say more people that listen to metal music actually are less stressed, less depressed, and less anxiety, because the music is so aggressive. They could take out their violence or their anger or whatever is going on in their life on the music. And maybe a pop song can't do that, or maybe a rap song can't do that, but metal music has that ability, because you hear the screaming, the anger. That's what mosh pits are all about. You go in there, you bump into each other, you have fun. And mosh pits might look like a violent place, but realistically they're not. People help each other up. There's women that mosh in there. There's guys that mosh in there. But it's like a family atmosphere. People look at it from the outside, go, damn, that mosh pit is going bananas. It's going bananas now. And realistically, it looks crazy from the outside. But when you're doing it, you're just literally bumping into each other, slam dancing, whatever you want to call it. It's fun. It's exciting. It's exuberant. You're putting all that energy into it. And it's like Corey Taylor of Slipknot said, he'd rather have people at the mosh pit going crazy than people out on the streets doing drugs and gang members. And to be honest, that's the truth. You go to music events, you have a hell of a time. That's why I think rock music has the most festivals, because it brings people from all walks of life to go enjoy the music for 2 or 3 days or whatever it is. But like I said, music for me is way more than just putting on an album and then vibing to it. It's the community. It's the hanging out with the friends, hanging out with the basically I'd say my music family, because all the people that I hang out with, I rarely hang out with them outside of doing something that doesn't concern music. And doing music is what they like and is what I like. We go and we hang out and we jam out to the music. I've been to multiple concerts with multiple amounts of people, and we just hang out and shoot the breeze. So for me, music is always going to be there. I listen to music in the car, music on plane rides, music in the gym. No matter what I'm doing, I'm always thumping and bumping music. And at the end of the day, what's your take on music? Did it change your life? What was your first concert? Mine was actually a Weird Al concert, which is crazy to think about, Weird Al. But my very first metal concert was seeing Ozzy. I think it was Ozzy, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest and like Slayer or something at like Ozfest. Those were like the headlining acts, and that's crazy to see that many badass artists at one show kicking ass. But ever since I went to my first show, it was like a drug. There's nothing like a live experience, seeing thousands of people into the same things you're into, jumping around, headbanging, thrashing, just because it's music. And to be honest, the first time I seen a mosh pit, I had to jump in there. I had to experience it for myself because I've only seen it in videos and movies, and I was like, I have to get in here and thrash out. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of tried to thrash out. It was nuts, bananas, crazy, but I still had a hell of a time. I thought it was one of the most fun, exuberant things I've ever did. But yeah, man, I love the festivals. I do love like the smaller shows, like at the House of Blues, because it seems more intimate, and you get to see one band for a cheap price. It's hella worth it, man. Get your ass up. Go to a show if you've never been. And the thing that bothers me is when you hear these people who go, I'm not into music. I don't really have a favorite artist. And it's like, what do you listen to? And they're like, whatever's on the radio. To me, that's not fun or exciting. It's like, no, you put on your favorite album, thump it, bump it. And they're like, I don't have a favorite album. And their favorite album is like whatever the top 10 single is of the week. That's not a music guy. A music person is like, my favorite album all time is Master of Puppets by Metallica, or Breaking the Law by Judas Priest, or whatever it is. They're into it because of the music is what they love. And you hear people like Joey Diaz always talking about when he was a kid, he first heard this album. But like I said, the first album I've ever heard that was metal, it was either Master of Puppets or what was that album? Euthanasia by the band Megadeth. And you go, well, why'd you pick those albums? I don't know. I went to the record store and I seen the album covers, and that's why I bought them. And I had no idea who Metallica or that artist was. You go, really? Nope. Back in the day, you would buy albums based on the album cover. It looked aggressive. It looked scary. You picked it up. You bought it. You jammed out to it. And that's what I still love to do, is go to the record store and jam out to the album when I buy it. I'm not an MP3 iTunes guy. I'm a hold up the CD and rock out type of guy. I love fucking music. I love consuming music. You can see right back here, I got a lot of freaking CDs. I'm a CD nut. It's like the same thing with people that are vinyl nuts. It's the same thing. Whatever you're into it because it's a passion. It's a love. It's whatever it is. You're into cars. You're into motorcycles. You're into music. You're into, I don't know, whatever you're into it for a certain reason. And I'm into music not just because of the music, but because of the community aspect of going to shows. And there's nothing like a live show. If you've never heard a band, the best way to hear them is through a live performance. The first time I went and seen Machine Head, I knew of them. It was $20. I went to the fucking show, and the show was phenomenal, and I had a hell of a time. I had more fun at this show than I did at shows that I already knew the artist, because I wasn't familiar with the music, but the music was heavy, it was thumping, it was bumping, we were moshing all night. But at the end of the day, I think music will always be in my life, no matter if I'm playing it on guitar, I'm listening to it, listening to a podcast about it. But let me know what you guys think. Is music a part of your life? Why or why not? So this has been another episode of the Daily Grind Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Let me know if you guys like the two different camera angles. One's my web camera, and this one right here is my phone, and we will see you guys soon. But music, it changed my life for the good. Ever since I got into metal music, I've stuck with the metal music. So as always, it's your boy Trevor back with another podcast, baby. Bye.